Hey guys, in this run I'll be showing my battle in the Shadows of Calamity ranked challenge, and this is the run where I got 35,300 points for a 24th place ranking in the leaderboards. Notice that at high rankings the difference in points is pretty small. It's sort of like 1,000 to 2,000 point difference, and to get the extra 1 to 2,000 it is pretty optimal to get this, and it can be pretty challenging overall. First things first, credit where credit is due. Half of the run follows Axiom's strategy, and he did have a second place on the leaderboard prior to this, but it seems he's dropped to 9th place. However, I did change quite a bit of the strategy used because I don't have a 5-star Gloria, and in his run the 5-star Gloria is pretty massive because she killed off the Apostles and one of the stationary or the range Calamity, because the Gloria ignores 50% of the enemy's defense. Without it, she wouldn't be able to do it, and you need to change your strategy. Notice that many of the players at high ranking use the exact same team. Cole is pretty good for this fight, and I'll cover why later on as well. I will also include a link, of course, to Axiom's video. So if you want to check his run where he did a 4-round finish for a higher score, check out the link in the video description. And there will also be timestamps in case you want to skip the setup and just head straight into the battle to see how it plays out. So starting off with the character setup, the main DPS that I use is August, and ideally you want August to be at 3-star trait because at 3 stars he gains Rage Outburst 2, which converts 70% of magic attack to physical attack, as opposed to Rage Outburst 1 at lower trait where it's only 40% of magic attack. So that does bring a huge difference to the table. And I also have Fist Axe and Flying Blade Armguard. You do need a Flying Blade Armguard. I think 1 star should be enough because you really only need to use this once. And the final skill, besides his signature Rev skill and Hassle, which you really need, you have a choice between Attack Command or Knightly Spirit. Both have their merits, but I just went with Attack Command, and I opted to attack the enemies from the side. The secondary DPS is Cole, and Cole is really the key, and that's why you see many of the top rankers use Cole here. One of the main reasons why you can get such a high score is a lower turn count, and for a lower turn count you really want to try to kill the Apostles as quickly as possible. The main problem is the Seeker Apostle will gain 1 turn of invulnerability once it reaches injured status, and that delays your ability to kill it off. So what you want is a DPS that's capable enough to kill the Seeker Apostle in 1 hit. I think Hasna might be able to do it. Unfortunately I can't test it out because I didn't pull for Hasna, but Cole is the other option with his Wipeout skill. Cole is also ideal over Hasna because killing an enemy with Wipeout gives Cole dodge, and Cole will tank with dodge the attacks from the range Calamities. Now something that I did different from Axiom is that I gave Cole a Berserk Incense. My damage without this is lower, and I needed the Berserk Incense to give him the extra oomph. It gives him plus 15% damage, so this gives him the extra damage to kill off the Seeker Apostle at the start of the fight. My Cole had the Verdict of Justice, but this was a mistake. Ideally you'd actually want the Devil Turret because it gives Cole additional stacks of attack and defense, and this really adds up, and eventually Cole will get the 30% attack and defense boost, which is absolutely massive. So don't use Justice Turret, use Devil Turret instead. And you also need to have the leader aura for Cole to boost his attack for the last 10% and gives him 15% crit and crit damage as well, which is absolutely massive for this fight. Now, the other difference between my account and Axiom's is that my Gloria is only 3 stars, and if you really want to be top 5, top 10, you need a 5-star Gloria. That's because at 5 stars, Gloria becomes a much better DPS character, because all her attacks will ignore 50% of the enemy's defense stat, and that is absolutely massive. Without it, it's pretty difficult to finish off the Breaker and Defender Apostles with Gloria, so I had to adjust the strategy considerably and go for a 5 round instead, but I'll cover that later. Otherwise, Gloria is also spec'd for as much damage as possible, so she has the double-sided halberd, True Lance really only for the plus 5% physical attack, and my Resonance absolutely sucks. You don't want to have double sword because you won't be attacking unharmed enemies, but I don't want to change the Resonance. These are gear equipped on other characters, so I just left it on instead. And finally, the Magician Turret. With this, Gloria doesn't really need to do too much damage. She will still finish off the Apostles, but with the adjusted strategy, there is quite a bit of leeway here. Finally, the Leader Aura is mandatory because it increases both her and August's damage. Next up are the 2 support characters. So first off, we have Cocoa. Cocoa is there for the damage buffs and for the cover tanking, which is pretty crucial. So you want to have the Snow Lotus as well as the Iron Pots too, and Potluck Protector. All these are mandatory skills for the fight. Ideally also you want to have Cooling Powder. It may be possible to get by without because Inanna can cleanse the Null Healing, but it's going to be pretty tricky because Cocoa will be debuffed with Null Healing and you need to spend a turn to remove it before you can heal her without using Cooling Powder. Finally, it's Inanna. My Inanna has a Disaster Bottle, and I think this does help if you are finding that you are lacking damage. One option is to give her Disaster Bottle and hope to land Physical Defense 2 debuff on the enemy before Gloria or someone else attacks the enemy. So this can help if you are lacking damage. You need to have Soulmate because it gives co-attack and co-defense, helps you to survive the early part. Co-defense in particular is a 40% defense boost, which is pretty massive. And obviously her signature Princess Prayer. My Inanna has Cornucopia stuff. I don't think you really need this, but to me really this is best in slot. I know many people prefer to have Reorganized Cube for the extra debuff cleansing, but I think for me, but in particular this fight, her Princess Comfort already dispels 2 debuffs and that's enough for me. If you use Reorganized Cube, though, Soulmate will also dispel debuffs, so that is an option, most definitely. Now finally coming to the tactics that I use, I made a bit of adjustment. Axiom used the maneuver command to move Cole to the other side of the map. Unfortunately, I can't do that because I needed extra help to finish off the Apostles at the start. So instead I'm using Urgent Order. I'm using Urgent Order. And this helps you to get a few extra attacks in before the Defender Apostle gets its turn and kill off one of your characters. With that said, I'll jump into the battle. So the first part of the fight, up until the point where I kill the Seeker Apostle, is pretty similar to Axiom's run. The positioning is key. What you want to do at the start is to buff Cole with Snow Lotus, because Cole is going to be killing off 2 of the Apostles pretty early on. Gloria also uses Longinus Brilliance, mainly to actually apply attack 1 buff on everyone else. At the start, the Princess Inanna's Guard lures the defender over so that August can knock it over before using Hassle. Now on Cole's first turn, you move him to this exact tile right there and have him use the Berserk Incense for the plus 15% attack boost. Now this part is the RNG part of the fight. You need to have Inanna or Cocoa debuffed by the red glowy thing. It is completely random which character gets debuffed, so if it's another character beyond those two, you need to reset and start the fight all over again. Cocoa buffs everyone with Iron Pots too, and Gloria throws a lance down to damage both the apostles here. Here I also did something different versus Axiom. I ended August's turn with a charge attack instead of Wrath Scorch. Using charge attack gives him plus 15% damage, so using Wrath Scorch next leads to a higher damaging attack. And I had to do that to finish off the Defender Apostle. Now next up will be Cole's turn. On Cole's turn, you want to Warhorn the Seeker Apostle and use Wipeout to hopefully kill it in one shot. If Cole doesn't one-shot it, you have to reset and change your gear or something, because otherwise the Seeker Apostle will gain 1 turn invulnerability. Next you do Critical Strike on the Breaker for massive damage because it is also debuffed by Warhorn. Luckily, Gloria has just enough damage from her AoE to finish off the Breaker Apostle, as well as damage the other two enemies here. Now the next round, August starts first because of the previous Urgent Order. On his turn, you want to Urgent Order Gloria again. Doing this allows both August and Gloria to act first on round 3 and allows you to kill off the Defender Apostle before he gets his turn. Next up I had Cocoa use Springy Bandage on August before ending her turn. Here I had Cole use Wipeout to kill off this Apostle because I also don't have the teleport tactic. And finally I have Inanna refresh Soulmate on everyone. At this point it is pretty easy. I used the last 2 rounds, round 4 and round 5 to finish off the enemies because they are also pretty far and I don't have maneuver command. So first off, Gloria resummons the flag to give everyone +1 move. This allows August to be in range to kill off this Defender Calamity right here. August also gets another range, so I just moved him here. It's important to move August somewhere in between so that, as you can see, one of the Calamity attacks August and the other attacks Cole, and this way nobody dies. They will always attack the enemy nearest to them, so if you position this as such, then these two characters are the ones always getting attacked. On hindsight, I moved August a bit too far because he was 1 tile out of range from Cocoa's heal, but in any case, use Warhorn to finish off one, and then use Cole to attack the other, and then Princess Prayer Cole to finish off the second Calamity here. That's it, thanks for watching.